The Navigation Act of 1651 was created to tighten the trade between England and the colonies. The English government created the act so that goods could only be imported and exported on English ships to help with their control over trade.
The Solitary Neglect was an act that allowed colonists and the 13 colonies to violate trade laws due to the fact that to send British soldiers to the Americas to enforce these laws were too expensive. One of the biggest reasons of this act was to ensure that the colonists would stay loyal to England, and the threat of rebellion was a huge concern. Later, the English government reversed this policy in order to raise taxes to pay off the colonies' war debts.
The Proclamation of 1763 forbid expansion westward of the Appalachian Mountains and agreements with natives due to the revolt of the Native Americans. This protected not only the colonists from the natives, but the natives from attacks by the settlers. This was the first law to affect all 13 colonies.
The Sugar Act was passed on April 5, 1764, and set a tax on sugar and molasses imported into the 13 colonies, and was created to stop trade between the colonies and other countries, as well as reducing the amount of smuggling, robbery, intimidation, and corruption in the colonies.
The Sons of Liberty was a secretive, well-organized, tactical, patriot political organization that was founded and led by Samuel Adams. Samuel Adams and the Sons of Liberty were the ones behind what we would later find out as the Boston Tea Party.
The Stamp Act was passed on March 22, 1765, and stated that all American colonies were required to pay tax on every piece of paper they used. The money collected by this act was to help pay for the expenses of defending and protecting the American frontier by the Appalachian Mountains.
The Quartering Act required that the colonists provide the British soldiers with housing when needed in the barracks. If the barracks were full, they would be provided with inns or any type of housing necessary to ensure that the British soldiers would have a place to go.
The Boston Massacre is a fight that occurred on March 5, 1770, that was between a mob of patriots and British soldiers. It began when 50 citizens attacked a British centurion, Captain Thomas Preston called and more soldiers, and soon was said to have given out the order to fire. 3 people were killed instantly and 8 wounded, 2 of which died later. Among the dead was a black sailor, a rope maker, and a mariner.
The Gaspee Affair took place in March of 1772, when the Gaspee and its commander, Lieutenant William Dudingson, was patrolling the Rhode Island waters. They were patrolling to prevent smuggling and to enforce trade laws. The ship, however, got stuck on a sandbar when chasing a ship, Hannah's. After people caught wind of this, a group of patriots and Abraham Whipple took prisoner Lieutenant Dudingson and his crew, then set ablaze the Gaspee.
The Tea Act was passed by Parliament on May 10, 1773. This act wouldn't allow the colonists to buy tea from other companies besides East India Tea without spending a fortune. Radical leaders in the colonies believed that this act was a way to buy popular support for the taxes already enforced.
The Boston Tea Party was a response from the colonists about the Tea Act. On the night of December 16, 1773, Samuel Adams and the Sons of Liberty boarded 3 ships in the Boston harbor dressed like Indians and threw 342 chests of tea overboard.
The Intolerable Acts was the British government's response to the Boston Tea Party. These acts included Boston Port Act, Impartial Administrations of Justice Act, Massachusetts Bay Regulating Act, Porting Act, and the Quebec Act. These were the hardest acts passed by Parliament by far.
The First Continental Congress first took place September 5, 1774 to October 24, 1774, in Carpenter's Hall in Philadelphia. One of the main ideas of this meeting was to try and find a way to get the King of Parliament to see the grievances of the colonies. This meeting was divided into 2 types of people: those that seek legislative parity and those that were more radical who wished and were prepared for separation from England.